Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a controversial view. Today we're going to be talking about Dick Tracy, or Penis Tracy if you used to watch the Slash Brothers. But yes, Dick Tracy. Now, what could be so controversial about that? Well, surprisingly enough, this one is twofold for me. Let me first tell you my relationship to the film. I watched this when it first came out on home video. I used to have it on VHS. I'll explain. I ended up selling all of my VHS and didn't have this movie for quite some time. But now I have it back on VHS. All right. Let's get to the first controversy, which is my controversy with the film. I had wanted to see this. Like I said, I had it on VHS, but I sold it and I wanted to get it back. I was at a thrift store. I found it on VHS. I bought it and I brought it home. And when I opened it, it was womp womp. It had a ton of mold. So that obviously went in the trash. It can be fixed. It can be cleaned, but there was a enormous amount of the mold in there. And I did talk to my friend Thehorrorman, um, because he does clean them. And I said, well, if you want to clean this, there's a lot to it. He said, nah, you're better off keeping your eyes open for another copy. So, wouldn't you know it? At the same thrift store, about 3 or 4 months later, I find another copy of Dun 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 Dick Tracy. So Joe and I decide we want to do it for controversial view, which I'll get to in a few minutes. And I put it in, get ready to watch it, and womp womp. So when I rewound it, the tape broke. It's just like, I mean, you can't write this kind of stuff. So I was like, well, is it streaming anywhere? Because you know how much we love streaming. And nope, not streaming anywhere. At least not that I could find. So I actually worked on this for an hour because I have dabbled in fixing tapes surgically. But yeah, actually fixed it, spliced it together, and Joe and I were able to watch it. So that controversy is solved. Now let's get on to the real controversy here. Apparently, Warren Beatty in 1985 bought the rights to Dick Tracy, the whole thing. And he had trouble getting them to make the movie. He had problems with finding a right director. There were so many considered: Martin Scorsese, um, Sam Raimi. There's so many that were considered. But a lot of people passed on it. So Warren Beatty decided he was going to direct it himself and star in it. And to be honest, I think it's awesome. It's visually stunning. And a few little tidbits here. Um, he put so many villains in it. I think there were 20 villains in it. He put so many villains in it because he wasn't sure that he would ever get to make a sequel. And we all know the answer to that one because there was no sequel ever made. So, good call on that one. And actually, Macaulay Culkin was originally supposed to play the kid, but decided to go with Home Alone instead. I guess it was a good choice, I would think. So, the real controversy is, of course, Warren Beatty owning the rights to Dick Tracy. Well, what's so controversial about that? Well, he got the movie made, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there hasn't been another movie since then, or anyone trying to make another Dick Tracy movie. And this movie did really well financially. Apparently, because he's had trouble getting a sequel or another movie made in the Dick Tracy lore, he has to appear as Dick Tracy on some kind of television show every so often to renew the rights that he has so he doesn't lose the rights to Dick Tracy. A very odd law, very odd way of keeping the rights. But the first time, it was a Turner Classic Movie special where they were interviewing Warren Beatty, and they he showed up in Dick Tracy garb. And the second time was another interview done on a different television show. So the guy's very smart. He understands what it takes to keep the rights to this iconic character. It may not seem as iconic to most people now, but this was a big property way back when. Kind of like maybe not to the popularity of Batman, but it was awful close. But yeah, that is the controversy behind Dick Tracy. Now, I know we normally say we watch these movies so you don't have to, but check out Dick Tracy. Give it another watch. If it's something that you didn't warm up to right away, this movie is fantastic and it deserves to be seen. And don't forget to check out Joe's controversial view for Dick Tracy. Physical media matters. And until next time, peace.